Hello, everyone, and welcome to this divine space to grow, create, and simply just be with yours truly, Jayla Simone. Hey. Hey, y'all. It has genuinely been a minute, and you would believe me if I told you that I have spent months just being unsure and uncertain in many different ways and yearning to reach out and yearning for my community, for the divine collective, and yet still showing up exactly when it's time for me to show up. And that's just what it is at the end of the day, Sometimes I could, or in the past, beat myself up about feeling some type of way about not showing up, especially in this space, knowing what it's done for me and knowing what it's done for you guys. But I'm not going to let that stop me. So for today's episode, I'm practicing a few things. I'm kind of realizing that now as I'm talking. But we are on it like white on rice, baby. No games are being played over here, okay? I have really been in a reflective state the past couple of days. My baby is 4 months. Well, let's say she's 5 months. Because by the time you read this, technically, she's closer to 5 months now. Anyway, she's 5 months. And I'm just loving her. I'm really loving her so much. This morning, we had a really early morning. She was up at 5. I fed her. My aunt is in town. We were downstairs chatting up with them before they left. She came back upstairs, watched TV. Okay, she ain't watching nothing crazy, okay? But my baby will sit and watch like a little cartoon or something. I don't know what I had put on. I guess something on PBS or something. They got some weather, some kids show, whatever. She was watching that. Then I put her on the bed and she was just playing around, crawling on the bed and stuff. Then she just started crying like so much. And I'm like, oh, she's just so tired. So I gave her pacifier, put the blanket over her, rubbed her back, and I was just like, man, I just love her so much. And it really fascinates me to love someone so deeply and literally know nothing about them and love her so deeply and want to know more about her and continue to romanticize the little moments of me just being able to get to know her now and then looking forward to the moments when she is older and she's not my baby girl anymore. She'll always be my baby girl, but you know what I mean. But now she's snoring away. And I was like, okay, this is a good moment for us to segue into just a little chit chat. It's going to be a real calm conversation, mainly just focused on where I am right now. Prayerfully, it's a place that you can resonate with or learn something from, that it can plant a seed in you, that can help you plant a seed in someone else. Yeah, that's where we're at. It's been so long, like literally the last time I even chatted it up with y'all was when I was pregnant. I don't even know how far along I was, but I think it was like really early, like probably like 3 or 4 months, like probably between that 3 to 5 month range of me being pregnant was when I created the episode and posted it. So now we are 5 months postpartum. We are 5 months baby. I am working. Some of the things that I've done for all my new moms out there, my first time moms, some of the things that I had committed myself to throughout my whole journey. Number one thing that I committed myself to, that I told my partner that I wasn't going to go through this pregnancy without, was therapy. I signed myself up for therapy, found myself a therapist, and I've been seeing her literally every single week since I've given birth. Right now, me and her are on a little break. I just was like, girl, I'm just feeling consumed with opinions, and I just feel like I gotta get back to myself and get back to my relationship with God and just a place of love and not just a constant place of irritability, right? So I want to share this verse with y'all to set the tone, kind of just get our hearts ready, get our minds set to just reflect, to grow, and simply just be. These are just words of wisdom, words of encouragement, words to help flow a little bit more, never hurts to just be able to take on some of these things to just encourage us, motivate us. So 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 7 says, so the one who plants is not important. The one who waters is not important. It is God who makes things grow. He is the important one. To me, this verse is just a confirmation that through my faith, anything is possible. It's not about how much I really pour into myself. It's not really about how much I am trying to build a community to pour into me and show me these things. What's going to matter is God's work and how God shows up for me. Yet it is important how I show up, and it is important on the inner work, not just the outer work of who's making the flower bed look all nice in front of the house, who's sitting here making sure that every single day at 10 a.m. they water the plants and making sure that it grows because it's being watered. But what about the time in between? The time in between that you plant the seed and it grows into a plant. Sometimes people will ask you for your opinion or will simply try to give theirs because they feel that, I don't know, man, I don't even understand why people unsolicitedly give advice. I don't see the point, and sometimes I kind of feel like I do that too, but read the room, people, okay? Let's read the room at the end of the day. Yet, what about the in-between time? Like, I remember reading something that said something about, if you talk to your plants, it helps them grow. And I have a money tree that I've had since my senior year of college, so that was 2022. And it's still beautiful and growing. And I love my plant. But saying that to say, one thing that I did, with my plant was I genuinely used to talk to her all the time. I was always talking to my plant, especially when I was just having moments of just, talking on the podcast or just, I don't know. I'm like, just like literally anytime that I was really talking, I would either talk directly to the plant or I'm having conversations around the plant, if that makes sense. Because now the plant is like downstairs in my parents' living room. And that's a very social setting, and she's flourishing, okay? She's flourishing, and I've had her since 2022, and it's 2026. So I've had that plant for almost 4 years now. That is so crazy to me. It's probably one of the longest plants that I have. I did repot her once, and that was 2 years ago. I repotted her. So, she's living large, okay? She's living large. I want to share some affirmations with you guys as well because I saw this little video of this little girl learning how to swim, and it was so cute. And the caption was talking about how, sometimes your kids don't really need the pressure. Like let's just take the kids out of it. At the end of the day, we don't need the pressure. You don't know personally, whether you're a parent or not, it doesn't really take you to have kids to know that sometimes pressure isn't always the best. Sometimes pressure isn't always exactly what we need. And talking about reassurance and how that can be a leader for exactly what it is that we are looking for. And so I wrote down some affirmations. 1, I am brave. I am brave. I am brave. I am powerful. I am powerful. The reason why I chose powerful was mainly because I didn't want to use the word strong. Genuinely, me personally, I'm tired of being a strong person. Tired of being the strong one because it's making me feel the weight. Being strong is carrying the weight, in my opinion, at least from my personal experience. And it's my power that gets me through. It's the resilience that I've acquired throughout my life. It is my faith. It is my truth. It is my way of choosing that keeps me, powerful. Not strong, powerful. And I can do hard things. Sometimes I can overthink or assume, but I can do hard things, and I did. So those are some things that we can implement this week to really just encourage us, empower us to truly be, to truly let go and release the pressure. Because the pressure really isn't getting us very far. It isn't, honey. It isn't. So, moving on to another point that I want to touch on, which is a reflection of the conversations that we're having with the people that we're around. Remembering that we are reflections of each other and reminding ourselves of our truth. Because time and time again, and I believe this is a moment for me to really shower myself with grace. Because, we can't. There are many things that we can control, yet there are many things that we cannot control. And honestly, the people that we hang out with is number one thing we can control. The conversations we have, number one thing that we can control. And I almost was going to say that wasn't something we can control, but it is. And I was going to sit here and say that, it's impossible for me to go through seasons of my life and not be conflicted or not be challenged, to not be in a fog. And then when the fog clears, noticing that no one's around or noticing that there's a bunch of zombies around you and not green valleys and flowers and fruits and people. You just got a bunch of bloodsuckers around you. The fog clears and there's vampires everywhere. The fog clears and you're in Mystic Falls, child. Ooh, imagine. So the verse is Matthew 10, verse 20. It will not be you speaking. The Spirit of your Father will be speaking through you. Now, originally, when I wrote this down, I thought about, I had this podcast in mind. Yet, taking myself out of it, going back to what I said about the conversations, things we can control. Being pregnant has created having a baby, right? I think that's the correct terminology. Having a baby has altered my existence. It has transformed me. It has rooted me. It has uprooted me and then grounded me again. And that's why I'm able to come speak to you guys and have this moment in time, create this space of bliss. And I'm trying so hard not to yawn because I have no idea why. I'm sorry. I just been yawning. But yeah, I've been in such a fog and I'm, it's kind of starting to clear-ish. Yet I'm just so grateful to be in tune right now, honestly. Like the other day, really, I've been kind of feeling like, oh my gosh, like I've just been allowing so much stuff to bother me. Not only because someone else had said that to me, but also because I genuinely have been allowing a lot of things to bother me. Yet I realized that past week was a blessing because when is really the last time that I feel like I've been genuinely bothered or genuinely felt passionate about something and not like, oh, I just need to let it go. Oh, just push it aside, or not even had the capacity to think about how I was going to feel about it. It just came and went. I felt how I felt, or it prolonged how I felt, and just whatever. And it was just in the air. And I did nothing with it. And I'm realizing that being irritated the way I've been this week and really speaking on my behalf this week has truly shown me how the fog is clearing. I'm starting to be a bit more in tune. I'm definitely in a space of, what is the word? Empathism. I don't even know if that's a word, empathism. But I just remembered, just constantly talking about how empathetic I am, like when I was younger, like in college and stuff, learning about like being an empath and what that means, what that looks like. And always feeling like I was just constantly affected by this and constantly affected by that and da 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 da. And being pregnant, that's kind of how I felt too. Like I was constantly just being tossed and turned. After having my baby, I literally haven't really felt very much tossed and turned. I've definitely had my moments. Yet those were moments that I had simply because I let those things build up. Sorry. Oh my gosh. Sorry again. But yeah. So saying that, yeah, I'm just grateful to have this past week of feelings and having this past week of irritability and reflection, because it's really allowed me to kind of think a little bit more clearer and not just allow so many things to be caught up in my brain. I've been able to journal some things out, just chat it out with the right people, chat it out with people who are adding to my life, genuinely. I was going to say it was okay to have these experiences of, losing yourself and surrounding yourself by negative energy and surrounding yourself by people who bring you down naturally and naturally just suck your energy because you're already in a low place. And, we don't realize these things because, we're already kind of going through it. And sometimes we just want that companionship. Sometimes we really want those deeper relationships, and we try to count and lean on our partners and our family and our best friends and our sisters and our brothers to hold us and to carry us and to listen to us and to give us the right advice and to make us feel seen and understood and all these things. And it can be a consistent cycle, but I'm here to tell you right now that it doesn't have to be a cycle for you, because I'm not going to allow it to be a cycle for me. And I realized that the reason why I was able to have an irritable week and not be so consumed by it was because I had the conversations with the right people, quote unquote, right people. I had conversations with the people that I knew would hold me in a space that would allow me to release the emotion and not hold on to it. And then if I were to sit here and have a discussion with certain other people, whatever, it's after I felt certain ways and after I've prayed and things like of that nature. And I feel like I was saying something earlier, now that I just remembered, about some of the things that I've been doing as a first-time mom that have helped me. But this is one of them. Step one of, just being in the fog, being in the mist, and all these things, being in the thick of it. Being in the thick of it. Hold on, I need to write this down. In the thick of it. In the thick of it, because most of us mamas definitely probably gained some hate from them babies, aren't we? Did we not? Okay, so number one is definitely combos. Mindful. It's greater to have a mindful conversation with someone. Who is it that I'm calling when I'm at my lowest and stuff? And it takes practice. It takes time. I'm really reflecting on a time, and like during this season of my life is when I reflected on a time when I was 22, I believe, and one of my closest friends had passed away. And at the time, it was a hard time. But I had consumed myself in a relationship with someone who genuinely did not want to see me happy. And they fed off of my misery. And the way they fed off of it was keeping me miserable. And when I realized that, oh my gosh, like I'm just so miserable talking to this person, I'm so miserable being around this person, and I separated myself, I was able to think clearly and to be like, dang, you got to watch who you're talking to and who you're surrounding yourself with when you're upset, when you're sad. And overall, pay attention to how people make you feel. When you're around that person, they make you sick. Ugh, time to boot them. When you're around that person, you feel fulfilled, you feel happy, you feel energy. That's a good sign. Yet, sometimes you could have that feeling in the beginning, but as time goes on, it's like, oh my gosh, this person is draining me. I used to feel so fulfilled in all these things, yet now I'm starting to feel more like drained, feeling like I need to go to bed for 24 hours before I can talk to anybody else again. Those aren't the people that you want in your life. And being able to decipher that will be one way that you're able to really maneuver and be able to come home to yourself and show up for you and show up for your baby. You don't have to be a mama to apply any of these steps either. I'm genuinely I'm feeling more called to speak to some of the first-time moms and just share my experience over these past 5 months, because it's been a long journey of the last time we spoke and now, and this is where we're at. But feel free to still apply some of these things, but just be mindful with some of these conversations that you're having with these people. And you don't have to beat yourself up about, oh, I was having a conversation with this person, I was feeling down. Like, there's no reason to focus blame. Number 2, no blame, because that's one mistake that us humans sometimes we make, is constantly trying to find someone to blame for why something is the way that it is. And 9 times out of 10, it's us that we blame first. And if it's not us, it's someone else. But there's really just no one to blame. I've also been doing, as a first-time mom, I joined a first-time moms group, and it really changed. I feel like it really changed my life, because it was definitely, what was that, 3 or 4 months? Because I think the baby has to be a certain amount of weeks before she's able to go. But I think it was like 3 or 4 months when Loyalty was 3 or 4 months, yeah. And literally, she, like, it was just, like, it just came at the right time. And now, like, I have other mom friends, and now we have all babies at around the same age. And I'm looking forward to when all our babies are turning 1 and all the birthday parties and all the things. We're looking forward to it and praying that the relationships can continue to be fruitful and the relationships can continue to be a form of support over the next forever years of our children's lives. I pray to God that would be a true blessing, And it, like, we don't have to be like all super close and like doing all these things every year and all this stuff, but just having a consistent support, a consistent community has definitely been a big help for me, being postpartum and everything. Boom. I'm like, yeah, those are some things. Like, those are the 2 of the things. Those are the main things. Well, mainly I wanted to share the support group with the first time girlies, because I feel like that really changed a lot for me, especially because I just don't really have that many friends that are really in the same season as me, genuinely, whether that's me, us planning to get married, us getting married, the process of that, and just having a child and all these different things. I've really appreciated being around these women and learning from them and being able to connect with them, and honestly feeling secure in just knowing them and secure in where the relationships can genuinely go, honestly. And I look forward to having some more big sisters. I don't have to be the big sis anymore on my own. So that feels beautiful, feels blissful. So yeah, being mindful of the conversations And also, okay, boom. I'm like, what was it? So I wanted to share something as well too, because I had this big old epiphany the other day. And it's like how this ties into, the conversations, the people that you're around, being a bit more in control or a bit more aware of these things, is that this is what God wants for you. Even though I did feel so consumed by a bad, negative opinions, let's just say negative opinions, negative energy, even though I was feeling so consumed, that is what God wanted for me. That's exactly what God wanted for me. So that way I could be here talking to you today about it. And how I came to this was because it's just like, he wants you to receive advice. The verse says, it will not be you speaking. It will not be that person speaking. It will be God speaking through them. It won't be you speaking to someone else. It will be it will be God speaking through you. That's like, the other day I'm thinking about this guy. There's this guy at my job. I got a new job as like a manager. And I was talking to one of my coworkers, one of our staff members, and talking to him about Mother's Day. And he was sharing with me about how his mom passed away and how it was a sad day for him and how he worked and all this stuff. And I just really felt led to just encourage him and say some things that I really wasn't even thinking, but that was just on my heart to share with him about how his mom is living on. And even him talking to me about his mom and sharing with me like some of the memories he had with her. And even, he told me about how when he was a little boy, how, he didn't really like his mom, or he was arguing with his mom, just those teenage years, and how like now she's not here and he wishes she was, and all these things. But yet, he's able to share those things and appreciate his mom now because of that experience. And he's able to talk about her and share the good times and share how he loves her even still, and all these things with me. So it's not always you talking. Pay attention to when that person, you're having a conversation with that person and it feels like it's personal advice. It's a personal attack. It's a shady comment. That's when it's that person speaking and it's not God speaking. So God knows the advice that he wants you to take, because, I realize that I may lean on women that look just like me because, those are my circles. And also, after going to my HBCU and just growing up, I have really valued being in spaces with Black women and really valued having those spaces and wanting to create those spaces for myself and wanting to create, that. But yet now realizing that, not always those spaces are good for me. Not always are the spaces with the people that look just like us are good for us. Sometimes we have to go outside of our communities. We have to go outside of the people who look like us for the genuine support, for the genuine advice, for the experience. You can't ask someone how to make $1 million and they've never made $1 million before. I couldn't ask my friend who's never had a baby literally for advice, and she's never even had a baby. I really appreciate my one friend, Kaya. Her name is Kaya. I appreciate her so much because I've known her for so long. Like, literally, we used to be in church choir together. We literally started scrapbooking together. Like, that was my girl. And I really appreciated us being able to reconnect now that I'm a mom, and her being able and even being open to sharing her experience with me and sharing her words of wisdom and sharing, just sharing encouragement. Like, she's really been encouraging me, and, she's been a good outlet for me. Yeah, like I said, saying that to say, like, sometimes the people that look like us, sometimes the people that we're comfortable with, good people. And that's okay. Yet sometimes you can receive advice from people who don't look like you, and it can still resonate and it can still mean something, and it could be the perspective that you wouldn't receive from the people that you are just so similar to, or there's people that you're just so used to being around. And I've been able to genuinely be redirected and understood and rooted in how I feel being around these moms, and really putting myself out there and networking. When I used to work at Cheesecake Factory, recently, I don't work there anymore, but when I was working there, I had a table and it was this couple there, and they were going through this marriage book, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I waited till the end of me serving them, of course, to kind of ask what was going on, because, I'm looking for ways that me and my partner can grow together and have a fruitful marriage. And that couple was so nice enough to share their experience with me, share with me what they were doing. And that was some advice that God knew I needed. I didn't know I needed it. And I felt compelled, and I was a little scared and nervous about even bothering to ask. I was like, what if I'm bothering them? And what if they're just like, oh, girl, mind your business? But God told me to ask, and I did. And I received the advice that he wanted me to receive, genuinely. I received the advice that God wanted me to receive, not the advice that I wanted to receive, the stuff that I've been looking for. I've been looking for answers. Sometimes I'm looking for them in the wrong places. And God positioned me to receive a blessing that day. Okay? There's clarity in how, you feel, and it's a solution to heal and make progress towards your best self. There is clarity in healing, feeling, and solutions. Like, you literally know it's bad when you start running from the Lord. Like, 2 weeks ago, that's exactly what I told my mom's group. I'm just like, I really wasn't even going to come because I'm just really avoiding everything. Not trying to feel stuff, not trying to be just irritated by everything. I can just feel nothing and not go to my support group and not talk to my partner and not call on God and not pray and not listen to this and be just what's the opposite of present? I don't know. But whatever the word is of not being present, I could be that type of mom. But that would not work in my baby girl's favor. So seeking him and yearning for him and calling for him to be on my side is what's truly going to root me and ground me in my truth, especially being a first-time mom. Honestly, every mom that I've asked, that now, every mom that I've asked that I have genuinely resonated with and admired in a way where it's like, I would want to be, there are some similar qualities that I would like to have. They have all told me that God changed their life, and without him, they wouldn't be where they're at. Without seeking him, yearning for him, they wouldn't have been able to make it through. Every mom that I've talked to that has a fruitful relationship with God, fruitful marriage that's continuously growing and seeking truth, has told me that God was the reason that they have made it through. They have made it through the thick of it because of God. Number 3, God. That's our point 3, God. God, or we'll just say spiritual relationship. What does attune mean? Attunement. I don't know, that sounds good. I'm going to have to look it up. But to be in tuned, to be aligned is what I'm trying to say. Like, having that sense of, like I said, that sense of clarity, being not consumed, but full. And noticing that, and tying all those things together. I'm like, do I keep saying that? Yes, I do keep saying that. Yet making sure we're all together here. So with those 3 things in realization, it's like I said, you want the comfort of a human. You want the physical comfort. You want the physical appearance of a being to be there for you. You want that reassurance through what you can see. And us as humans, we rely on what we see. We can see so much, and we rely on that to be a truth. Yet knowing is not even half the battle. Unknowing, not knowing, is the full armor that we need in this lifetime. Truly. Because that's just like it says, like the first verse I said that we opened up with. So the one who plants is not important. The one who waters is not important. It is God who makes things grow. He is the important one. It's not about how much you put in. It's not about all that knowing and constantly just fueling the what is it? That hunger. It's about allowing God to do his thing. It's about having faith, seeking, allowing the unknown to be comfortable. It's about being uncomfortable. It's about being comfortable with the uncomfortable. You're seeking for someone. You're seeking to see something, yet God is here always. And even still, he shows up. Sometimes it's a feeling. Sometimes it's a bodily feeling. Sometimes it's a physical interaction with another person. Sometimes it's the music that's playing. Sometimes it's the podcast that's playing. Sometimes it's the show you're watching. It's the post that you just saw on Pinterest, the post you just saw on Instagram. There's a possibility that it's God. You're searching for a physical person, but you can have an imaginary, quote unquote, imaginary friend who's right there all the time, God. In every moment, in all my truth, doing what is good to him is what's good to me. He sees the advice I've been leaning on, and he had to step in physically through others that I didn't even know I needed. He's always here. He's always listening. When he has to step in physically, he will. And sometimes we be so caught up in our own thoughts and our own ways and what our eyes can see, and we miss it because we're so focused on what we want to see and what physical feeling we want to have that we miss God's presence sometimes. But we don't have to keep missing it. We sure don't. So, creating a community for me to be poured into through Christ first, and then my best self / my goals, and choosing to see my truth through others' perspectives. Knowing that the advice was sound, reflecting and knowing I wouldn't want to be you. Sometimes you gotta reflect and be like, honestly, this isn't someone I want to be like, or they don't have certain characteristics or qualities that I genuinely admire. So why would I take advice from this person? It could be just as simple as that. It's no shame. I just prefer what I have going on in my head instead, and these divine conversations that bring clarity through reality. Clarity through reality. In the thick of it, we can be on top. As long as we continue to motivate ourselves, talk to God, be mindful of the conversations that we're having, and no blaming ourselves. Truly letting go. I have another step, which is I'm putting letting go / journal. 050 movement, y'all. I don't walk or do a lot of exercises, especially because I really do try to consider that. I mean, I am 5 months postpartum. I did have a C-section. I don't want to overdo it. Yet, I still don't want to be a bump on a log, And that's just like I was telling my cousin the other day, that at the end of the day, that's exactly why we need to continue to move our bodies, is because we hold so much energy, especially as women. We hold so much energy in our hips and these different parts of our bodies, and it creates stress and it creates these aging things and uncomfortability. And a simple walk can change everything. Just a simple sit down outside, Smelling the breeze, smelling the air, smelling the breeze. Interesting. I don't know. But yeah, so I encourage you, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful people, my divine collective, to just get out there and get out there healing. And God will provide the solution. I just trust that. I'm trusting that. Because some things, it's like, I don't know how this is working. Yet, I'm still going to seek God, because if nobody else can change this for me, God can. That's for sure. And if he can't, it wouldn't even be that he can't. It would be that it's just not meant for me. That's not what was where I needed to be. Simple as that. So I'm like, wow, is that it? And honestly, it is kind of like where I want to leave us today. Mainly because, I just picked up the mic and started chatting, and that's where I felt led to today, just talking about some of the things I've been reflecting on and learning a bit more about myself. Because I want the best for me. I want the best for my daughter. I want the best for our marriage. And the only way to truly get the best is to grow and to really pour into that way of being. Romanticize it. Get it done. I'm going to get it done. I'm so proud of myself for even creating this space to be in presence with y'all. I am grateful and I'm appreciative that you have taken the time to be present with me as well. And I pray that some of the things here resonate with you and that you were able to take at least 2 things from this whole discussion. For sure. I'm just so grateful to God for just allowing me to be here and be present and speaking, and that he chose to speak through me today, genuinely. We are powerful, powerful beings, ladies, gentlemen. This is our pure calling, We are forces to be reckoned with. No games being played over here. I'm probably going to take me a little nap before I get some more of my day started, since baby girl is still asleep. Oh, y'all, when that baby is asleep, they do not be lying. When that baby is asleep, go ahead and sleep. Sometimes I don't, because if I'm just like, I got this. Keep pushing yourself. Keep doing the divine work that's within you. You've already done one of the most divine things you could ever do, which is have a baby. And it's not end all be all for those ladies out there that may be discouraged about it or haven't had one yet. There are other ways that you can show up as a mother in this world. And sometimes your capacity may not be meant for you to have a child of your own, yet for you to be that mothering sister figure for others. And you may have more the capacity for it to be multiple people instead of having the capacity for just one. Believe in you guys. I'm like, how else do I close out this joint? Feel free to follow me on Instagram, you guys, at Planet Resilience. Planet R3S. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to type it, y'all. But it's Planet Resilience, and there's 3 E's. The 3 E's in resilience are number 3 instead of E. Hopefully that makes sense. Always check out the YouTube channel at Jayla Simone. We will be having a YouTube channel for the podcast coming soon. I don't really have much new things, y'all. You can always purchase a Dare book. I always have them on hand. Feel free to DM me on Instagram. Send me an email if you'd like to purchase one. They're still featured on Gumroad as well. I can go ahead and add as many links as possible into the description for today's episode for sure. Thank you guys so much for just being here, creating space for yourself, and choosing to grow, create, and simply just be with me. And yeah, y'all, I will definitely see you guys in the next episode. I am so grateful. I love you. Pray that you continue to be blessed, continue to just seek and show up. You got this for sure. I'm so proud of you for showing up today too. We both showed up listening. Feel free to listen to us again with any notes that you want to take. Man, I'm like, I don't really want to hang up the mic. But I will catch you guys in the next episode. See ya. Bye.